finally, I had the opportunity to enjoy a lavish, extraordinary meal with a South African twist, with all your culinary expertise that you've put into this beautiful 18-course dinner at Interlude. And you're as a Michelin Star chef, South African born. It's an absolute honor and a pleasure to have experienced this. And so, since this journey has started, what have you experienced along the way?
Well, I think it's been a lot more of a learning curve than I expected. It's a bit, I'll say a bit different, quite a bit different to what we're used to doing in South Africa. So when we came across, it was just like a completely different scenario. So, but I think we were quite lucky. We got like a beautiful setting, like I'm sure you've seen, and I've kind of made it my main project to kind of get this house like really where it needs to be. So it's taken three and a bit years now, COVID in between.
Yeah.
But we're there now slowly. I'm slowly getting happy now with what we're starting to put out. So still got work to do, still got lots to do. But yeah, I mean, I found it really fun. But it's been a nice challenge as well as we build.
Since COVID, have you seen a more influx now of people coming?
It's very sporadic in the UK. So like as soon as we obviously got released from lockdown, there was busy for a few months, and then we got locked down like 3 times. So that was quite tricky. But now since it's opened up now, it's kind of leveled out again, and now we're kind of seeing our normal kind of pattern re-emerge of seasonality and stuff.
I was unsure when we came out here how far the drive is from London, and it's actually it's a beautiful drive. It's not long at all. It's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, so. If that. Yeah, it's been quite lucky.
And then checked in. The light was beautiful. We went to explore the gardens, and I know that a lot of your ingredients is foraged from the gardens.
Yeah.
And the dinner experience we had, what different elements came from the garden that you can't find anywhere else?
Well, I think some of the elements are quite widely found in the UK. I think the main objective is that every course has something from the estate. So obviously we've got our own chickens, we do occasional pigs, we've got the deer from the deer park. So we've got loads of small things like that like really intertwine into what we do on the estate. And then also we've got plants here that date back to hundreds of years that aren't necessarily found on other estates. So we have some of those elements, but the rest of the stuff is quite generally UK-based wild ingredients, where we just try to use essence of it, not kind of make it the whole thing, but just kind of give us that story, which is fun.
Yeah, I think I know my favorite part about the whole experience was that it was telling a story, and you brought theatre in, you brought layers of texture in. There was no stone left unturned to really express flavor. You know, it was little explosions of flavor, and I think that's what the whole Michelin Star quality is about. That you send people on this culinary journey that's almost, you can't repeat it anywhere else.
Yeah.
But it's got a very firm thumbprint of who you are as a South African as well.
Yeah.
And from a South African perspective, what do your guests enjoy most, or that's new to them from a South African or traditional South African?
I think what plays into our hands quite well is that we play to our own strengths. So we know what we want to do, and we know our identity now, which has taken us about 3 and a bit years to kind of really know what we want to do. So having that firmly and that base now that we can kind of grow on helps us a lot. I think a lot of people are still kind of, we have to be careful what we put on and what we do. So texture-wise, sometimes it's a bit weird for people. Flavor-wise, it's sometimes a bit weird. So we're slowly expanding as we go. But like the chicken foot, for instance, is still a big hit. Like that's amazing. But if I put that on in South Africa, people wouldn't eat it. So I mean, like to compare that.
That was
to
the first time I had it.
Oh really? So yeah, like something like small like that is for us is quite fun because people actually are open to embracing it. But then there's other things where they're like, well, no, it's a bit weird, it's too much, you know. So yeah, we just got to play around, and if we know that it's working, then we stick with it and we grow it, and if it's not working, then we take it back. And then,
I might have to ask you afterwards, how do you debone a chicken foot? But that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you had skilpaakies and the smoke and bringing the smell of the South African fire into the whole equation, and then just having this hints of different things that encourage people to talk about the food, and which obviously becomes part of the experience. So for that, hats off, and a very well deserved Michelin Star, and so excited to see where you're going to go. And even more, like when you come and have cocktails before dinner, there was foraged items in these cocktails that was just blowing our minds. And what a fantastic experience. And super proud of you, and with love from the UK, come and dine at Jean's beautiful shrine of food and wine, and absolutely enjoyable. Thank you so much.
And you can stay now as well, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to go anywhere.
Exactly.
Anyway, you've got to come and support this and enjoy. It's an absolute privilege. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Lovely to have you in.